All right, it is a Thursday. Really busy day today. My books are absolutely packed. Stressing a little bit because tomorrow I have a dual arch all on X, patients getting sedated. And we are last minute scrambling to get everything ready with the guides, the planning, the implants, all that sort of stuff. Natisha's meant to send me the PDF, but he is unfortunately on a flight right now, so he won't be able to give that to me until a few hours later. Once he sends that through, I can then work out what implants and MUAs and blah, blah, blah that I actually need for the case tomorrow. And then I'll need to order in those goddamn implants. We are printing off the guide and blah, 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 blah. At the other clinic, Alvin's going to have to grab the implant kits, the drill kits, the guide, the temporaries, and the implants and MUAs and stuff like that. They're going to be dropped off at the clinic today and then give it to me tonight so I can have everything ready for tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely hectic. And then in the meantime, I'm seeing a bunch of patients today as well. There are a few things I need to do as well. I need to call up a few patients and do a bunch of other random things here and there. So, man, it's going to be a full-on day. And I haven't even gymmed yet. And last night, for some reason, I think the power went out and then flipped back on again, which means that all my lights reset and all my lights turned on at like 3 a.m. and I wasn't even getting a good night's sleep that day and I was real restless. But had a coffee, had a matcha, double whammy. So feeling really amped and buzzed right now. But we'll see if the buzz lasts for the rest of the day. And I'll need to pick up those implants and stuff like that from Alvin, and hopefully I'll have time to go to the gym tonight and be able to have a productive day. So probably anticipating today is going to be kind of stressful, but hopefully it all pans out well. So fingers crossed. All right, it is the end of the day. You can tell it's super dark. It's just getting towards winter in Brisbane, so the sun's setting early and early and earlier. It's kind of miserable when you walk out of work and it's already dark. But I have a story to share from today. I feel like my day-to-day is usually pretty monotonous. I guess to the average Joe dentist, he doesn't do a lot of surgical work. My day is pretty crazy, but it just feels like normal to me, right? Not to brag or anything like that. But today, I had to do something I don't usually have to do. So a dentist who was working next door to me in the same clinic was doing some wisdom teeth. And I don't like doing wisdom teeth. I don't like pulling out teeth in general. I feel like I'm a brute when I rip out teeth out of someone's mouth, right? Like it's just barbaric. But sometimes it's got to be done. And so I try to avoid wisdom teeth as much as I can because they're the hardest teeth to pull out a lot of the time. And this dentist, he was taking on some teeth. They were like, I would guess, on the moderate side of difficulty, like not crazy hard, but kind of up there. And unfortunately, he got the tooth loose and it actually went down into the submandibular space. And I was like, he calls me in, like I'm in the middle of seeing a patient, he calls me in, hey, do you mind coming in and having a look and helping me out here? Something's going on. And I'm like, okay, let me finish up with this patient, let me have a look. It was actually lucky that I finished early with the patient, so I actually had time to spare. So I walked in, had a look, he's like, the tooth is technically not in the socket anymore, like it's loose and all of that, but it's just moved underneath the gum. I'm like, that's cool. I have a look inside the mouth, I can't see this anywhere, even when I try and play around with the gum, right? I'm like, damn, it must be deep in there somewhere. So I go, hey, look, man, go take a 3D x-ray, let's just see where this tooth is sitting inside of the jaw. And lo and behold, it is in the submandibular space. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do I get this out here? So I've never really had to fish out a tooth like that from such a dangerous spot before. There's nerves, there's vessels, there's all sorts of stuff in the area there. So what I did is I numbed up the patient even more, just to make sure she just couldn't feel anything at all, because we're going into unknown territory here. I open up a really big flap. I have to open up a lingual flap. Not a fan of having to do that unless I have to as well, because again, there's dangerous stuff in there, like nerves and vessels, etc. And then opened up, saw the tooth, thankfully, and was able to get a real hold in it with some tweezers and pluck it out. Took another x-ray to make sure I'd removed everything. There was still some small bone fragments. There was a tooth root still inside the socket near the nerve of the jaw. We decided, hey, look, we can leave that root tip in there. It's pretty routine for a lot of dentists to leave root tips in if they deem it too dangerous to remove, especially when there was no infection in the first place, right? She was just getting her teeth removed so she could get some braces done. And decided any little fragments that are inside there are small enough and safe enough to just be able to leave. And so we just stitched everything closed and gave her some steroids and like antibiotics and some painkillers and call it a day. That dentist is going to call her tomorrow just to double check on how she's going, and then again on Monday just to triple check, make sure she's feeling okay. But yeah, exciting stuff for once, I guess. So never really had to do that before, but I had to do that today. Oh, and man, even though I'd finished early with that other patient, man, the rest of the day just ended up being hectic. Everything went pretty smooth, but yeah, just one after the other, bang, 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 bang. It was just super busy, and I had to help out a bunch of other dentists as well with some of their other stuff. So overall, pretty exciting day, just tired. I now have to go over to Alvin's because tomorrow I've got a dual arch, AOX, and I didn't get some stuff ready in time, so I'm last minute. Today I was also last minute scrambling just to organize to get all the equipment, implants, and materials ready for tomorrow. So that one's on me. Like, I didn't get my shit together. My bad, I guess. In any case, everything should be okay, but let's drive over to Alvin's and we'll pick some shit up. Peace out. Another long day tomorrow.